1, 2, 3, the lawn feed.
Welcome to another episode of the Lawn Feed Podcast. I am your host tonight, Chris from Hope It's Mow Time, and alongside me, as always, is Andrew from the Dad Bod Lawn.
Sip.
And Vince from Rooted Lawn Co. Gentlemen, what's going on?
What's
How
happening?
we doing?
Good. 'Tis a season for lawn.
Lawn season is full swing.
It's certainly kicking off and in full steam ahead mode, that's for sure. Happy spring, everybody. Happy May. We're recording this on I don't know. It feels like May 1st. It's not May 1st. It's like the 6th of May, 7th of May. It's something of May.
We're 7th now, Chris.
It's almost the end of May by the time people are listening to this. So happy Memorial Day. Happy Mother's Day for all of the moms listening. Belated,
Love you, Mom.
of course. And so on and so forth. We have a kind of a fun episode to talk about today. We are ramping up and gearing towards, and we're having fun in spring because it's our season and all of those things, and the grass is green and all of the fun things that come with spring. And lawn care doesn't seem that hard right now because we're in an active growing season for most of us, but we know what's right around the corner, which is summer. And Memorial Day is kind of that kickoff to summer, and all you guys can wear white pants now, which is super cool. Vince, looking at you while you mow. And but what comes along with that is, in many cases, lack of rain, high heat, humidity, maybe more rain and humidity and high heat, and all of the different things that just cause problems in our lawn. So we're going to talk about some of the things we can do to prep and prepare for summer. Things that we can be doing now, some things that we should have on our radar, all of the above. But before we get into that, we have some people to thank here.
We want to thank our friends at Twin Cities Seed for powering this episode and season of the Lawn Feed Podcast. Twin Cities Seed offers elite quality and custom blends of grass seed to homeowners, turf professionals, and more. Home of the new Resilience 2, Blue Resilience, and Fielder's Choice blends. Shipping to all 50 states. Check them out at twincitieseed.com. And check the banner at the top of their webpage for current specials and offers with codes for free shipping and more. And if you need a little discount, Lawn Feed 10% off every time.
Yeah, buddy. Vince, you tired, dude? You're yawning over there.
Oh man, 4:30 came quick this morning, so you betcha.
You betcha.
You betcha.
Yeah, we were watching the Wolves getting smoked last night up until like midnight. So yeah, 4:30 doesn't sound all too pleasurable.
What are the Wolves? What are the Wolves?
Basketball, Timberwolves, sports. Yeah, those things.
Stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Dad's wins and losses. We rocking through that. Cool.
I think we
Awesome.
need one of those.
A lawn feed tradition where we tap into who we are at heart. Dads! This is Dad's Wins and Losses, where we tap into our inner dad bod father figures and highlight some of the recent wins we've experienced as parents, and of course, vent about the embarrassing losses we take each and every day as dads.
I love you, Daddy.
And before we get into that, we want to let you guys know that Dad's Wins and Losses today is brought to you by Big League Lawns. Transform your lawn into a visual masterpiece with the Checkmate Striping Kit. Effortlessly create stunning professional grade stripes that add depth and dimension to your yard. Head over to bigleaguelawns.com to get yours, and to score a discount, check out the code on screen if you're watching on YouTube, or check out the description on the audio podcast. Chris,
you said that way too non-enthusiastically. They're a new partner of ours, so welcome to the Lawn Feed Podcast family. Big League
First
Lawns.
time reading through it, I stumbled a little.
We are super pumped up to have them on board. That's something we've been using, all three of us, forever.
Almost day one of any lawn care pictures. You got to put a Big League lawn striper and get those dark stripes.
Yeah, and if you don't know what a lawn striper is, it is a glorified heavy duty. They make a heavy duty one. There's all sorts of them out there, but they make a heavy duty roller that sits on the back of any of your
Kind of like burp there.
Well, these high noon lemons are going down like water today after a lawn leveling project. So they basically make your lawns look like baseball fields. It's freaking cool. And regardless of what size mower you have, what kind of mower you have, they will probably be able to fit it. And regardless of what you have growing in your lawn, it will probably look a lot better with you having striped it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
if you
and
don't currently
these ones are cool because like sorry, Andrew, cut you off, but you can back up with them. You can turn nicely with them. You're not going to dig into the ground or jackknife them when you're backing up. So it makes it does float on the back too. So it floats with your turf and whatnot, but they are heavy. So they leave an awesome stripe.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, if you are looking to just take your lawn game to the next level, you currently don't have a striper or your mower doesn't really stripe that great, which most, homeowner mowers don't. This is going to take it to the next level. I remember when I was getting into lawn care, like, I'm like, I'm going to spend a little extra money so I can have stripes. And I did it. And I was like, this is amazing. Everyone's commenting as we're driving by. Like, that looks awesome. And I'm like, yeah, just a roller on the back. It's pretty awesome. So
insider secrets there.
That's right.
One up your neighbors. So welcome to the Lawn Feed family, Big League Lawns. We're excited to have you. BigLeagueLawns.com. Go check them out. And yeah, level up your lawn. Dad, is this me? I've got Dad's wins and losses. Clearly, we are super prepared tonight. I do. So we had our first soccer tournament. This is the loss. Our first soccer tournament. 7:30. We had to be across town, basically. 40-minute drive to that early is with two kids. We all know how that goes. It's just a whole day affair. We are just getting into like the whole competitive tournament soccer Saturday. Like you get to a field. You got to like find stuff to do in between games because there's no way you're coming back. This is kind of our first go about of it. Well, our youngest, so this is the tournament was for our oldest, our youngest, had a massive regression by the time the third game hit because all he's been eating is fruit snacks, fruit roll-ups, fruit strips, candy, basically living on sugar at this point. Just to like
40.
Yeah, just to like get him through the day, right? Like it's a yes day for him. You can have anything you want. Well, turns out none of that agrees with the system. Doesn't agree with any of that. I don't know. We're 5-10 minutes into the final game down the home stretch. All of a sudden, I smell something. I'm like, Then I look over. He asked himself. He's got S running down his leg. And I'm like, and this complex is so big. I'm like, it's turf. It's AstroTurf. So I'm like, it's in there. So this is cool. The Biffy is there's 3 Biffies for, of course, like 400 or 500 people, right? It is across the way.
Bathroom.
So a Biffy is a porta potty. Is that not like common knowledge, or is that just a Minnesota thing?
We call them porta johns or porta potties. Yeah.
Really? That's not like a. Okay.
Never heard of a Biffy.
Biffy. No. That must be a company name around here or something.
Probably.
Why? Okay.
Name.
Wild. Yeah. It's like Band-Aid. But it was across the field. So we had to I was like, there's no way we're making. There's absolutely 0% chance I'm walking with my kid, carrying my kid, because it was running down his leg. There's more in his shorts. We just changed right there. Like, just full blown. I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do? There's not much to say here. It was a total like Vince Vaughn moment in the store. Kid just pissed on the toilet. What do you want? But there's not much to say.
I need a blanket. We just need to get a blanket around this kid.
My God.
Yeah.
Dude. Wow. I was like, and like, of course, my face is beet red, but like all the parents were like, hey, here's some wipes. Here's some this. Here's some of that. And like, I was like, I don't even want to be seen right now. I just want to like curl up in a ball.
How embarrassing that must feel. But like how Vince and I are reacting, we're just picturing that happening to our kids. And if that happened to anybody around me, I'd be like, dude, what do you need? I'll go run across and grab like what do you need? Like, it's not, it could happen to anybody. It could happen to anybody that's there. It just happened to be you.
Here, could happen to us if you hit the coffee wrong,
or the fruit snacks and the Americanos. Not a good combination,
dude. It was like just an utter L.
Oh my gosh,
my win. Same kid. We're on round 2 of tubes with him. He's 6. So it's like, I think kind of a rarity. But like one got crusted up from his old round of tubes. And it just caused so many problems. Those of you who have kids who need tubes because of like ear infections or kind of going through ear infections and soon to be not diagnosed, but like recommended tubes to like make that situation better. Night and day difference. Like attitude completely turned around. That coin economy that we run, that was completely neglected from him from like at the tail end of this thing. And now it's like, cool, how can I earn coins again? How can I do all of these things? And like totally willing, and like he can hear and all of those things. And it's like attitude's totally better, both home and school. It's just like wild. Two totally different kids before and after tubes. Just crazy. So yeah, dude. Roller coaster.
Those are pretty solid wins and losses right there.
Yeah, two ends of the spectrum.
Well, the first one definitely wasn't solid, but
no, it was not solid.
That was not solid.
No, very moist.
That poor kid. You feel how embarrassed you are. Imagine how he felt.
I know, and it's like, of course, like I'm just like, dude, how?
Did you guys have pants like in the car? Like, what'd you guys do about that?
We have a go bag.
We're
good.
Even at his age, you still have extra stuff,
dude.
Yeah,
there was 49% trust, and now it's about 13.5% trust. But like for a tournament like that, like it's an all day thing. Like go bags for sure coming.
Right.
But
yeah.
Well, play off those little snacks there next time. Start packing better.
Yeah. Yep. Sugar packets next time. Pixie sticks. I'll get them.
Goodness.
Speaking of turning the heat up and vomit, summer's coming. Doesn't feel like it, but it will here soon. It's supposed to be 92 degrees here in a couple days. Which
Usually
is
what
insane.
happens, you get the little pseudo spring and it's summer, just like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. So, what are some things that we're doing now that maybe we need to either lay off on, or things that we should have on our radar for the months coming up?
Well, for starters, you can do what I'm about to do tomorrow. I'm a little delayed up in Michigan compared to a lot of you. I hope a lot of you have already done this. Test your sprinkler system. I haven't even turned mine on yet. So tomorrow, I think, is the day. Hopefully, I'm going to
I haven't needed to.
No, I haven't needed to, but you should turn it on and make sure the heads are all working properly and everything like that, right? Like, because you don't want to wait until you actually need it to work and then find out you got two heads that aren't rotating, and you want to be able to just turn them on and walk away. So that's what I got to do. Plus, I have a seeding project coming up in about a week and a half, and I need to make sure that it's dialed in for that. So,
are you you were taking her down for real mowing and stuff, aren't you?
I am.
How's that going?
Good. One round of glyphosate.
He hasn't gotten into the hard labor yet.
Haven't got to the hard labor. That is next weekend, maybe. I got to calculate better than Chris how much topsoil and sand to get for this project. But I have to fix my backyard pea spots too. So it's just like whatever's left over is just going to get utilized for that. But yeah, it's mostly killed. Still got some like greenish stuff going on. I'm going to spray again tomorrow. And then in about another week, it'll be ready to level out and seed with some perennial ryegrass to real mow below an inch.
What blend are you going to go with?
Fielder's Choice, Twin City Seed.
It's a good choice.
And still going back and forth on whether I want to introduce Kentucky Blue in the fall or not, but we got some time. So we're just going to see how this goes and go from there. But yeah. I'm kind of excited because it's like I'm cutting at 2.5 inches, my whole front yard. And then like that area is like brown and dead. And I pretty much scalped it down as low as I could today. And so it looks like it's taking shape of like a cool, like golf green, chipping green area. It's just like, I can't wait till this thing is green and striped up. It's going to be so cool. So
yeah, no doubt. Get ready for worm castings if you're going below an inch.
Yes. And you told me you have some stuff for that. So I'm going to
Clearies, baby.
Clearies.
Just doused mine today.
Did you?
It's great. Yeah, dude, it's absolutely nuts. So
how often do you have to apply it?
I actually have no idea. I have no clue. Vince, do you know?
I mean,
Offhand, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, per the label, I mean, I think it's like every 14 days for fungicides, but for worm castings, I don't know what the actual.
Yeah, I don't.
Basically, if you're starting to get more, then you can apply it. I've been trying to figure out an alternative. There's like some other one that they can use, but like it like destroys their membrane and kills them. Like that sounds awful. I don't.
This one just pushes them somewhere else.
Maybe just leave that off the
They're just
label
irritated
next time.
by the active ingredient. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember, and like this is getting wildly off topic, but that's totally fine because we can do that. It's our show, whatever, no rules. There were like 2 products that we can use, and one of them pushed all of the worms up, and then one of them pushed them down. I chose the one that pushed them down because I didn't want to deal with up. Someone I'm connected with tried the other one, and the pictures that I got sent of how many worms popped up was diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
You thought you had a lot of worms like when it rained, and then multiply that by 4,000, and that's how many. Like he's like, if you could only smell this picture,
probably
he's
like
I almost
shovel it.
The air in the lawn for him.
Well, sand is supposed to deter them as well because they can't really chew the sand. But I think that's a lie because I was out there this morning and I was watering some areas, and dude, I have the fattest earthworms. I mean, they're like little snakes. I'm like watering, all of a sudden just see this thing.
Those are the strongest ones that can survive the sand.
It's like I have like tremors out there, man.
Yeah.
Don't let the kids in the lawn anymore. It ain't safe.
And they're everywhere. So everyone's like, oh, lawns are so bad. Biodiversity. My earthworms are happy. They're eating good.
Vince is like, I'm trying to achieve biodiversity right now. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
But
so worm castings, you'll have fun with that. But that's a cool project. We're going to have to definitely chat about that and follow along on this journey.
Sounds like we just need to go to Michigan and play some golf in his yard.
Probably
is what needs to happen.
Yeah, you can hit on the simulator in the driveway and then chip onto the green and putt out.
Yeah, so hit on the simulator.
The simulator.
Simulators.
The simulator. That's how we say it here. The simulator.
So we were talking about water and sprinklers, and then we got to worm casting. So let's hop back on the tracks here. Vince, you were about to say something?
I was going to say, because like he was talking about seeding and projects and stuff like that. So like when it gets warmer out, you're going to need to pay attention to your new lawn. It's not going to be, the roots aren't going to be as deep. And it's going to probably require some more watering. There's textbook, you want to water 1 inch per week or a half inch per week, whatnot. Rule of thumb is if it starts looking like it's starting to go out, increase your watering. And you want to make sure you're not letting that die out. There are some products that you can be using, whether they're scientifically proven that they work, or some people say they do work, some people say they don't. Hydrotane or like wetting agents. I feel like I do see a positive response when I put down a wetting agent. Hydrotane's one, Site One, Lesco, they have their own, I forget what it's called. They have some, and then
Hydrocharge from Anderson's.
Hydrocharge, is that what that is? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So those are good options you can put down. Some claim that you can put it down at seeding and it's going to help germination. I can't say that ever occurred for me.
I've tried it and I don't think it mattered.
Yeah, no, but after it's established, I mean, golf courses use them all the time as well. So if they're throwing them down, then you're probably safe to say that they work, because it's probably not cheap to put down a wetting agent over an entire golf course.
No.
Yeah. Holy moly. It must work. Yeah, they wouldn't throw that kind of money away.
Right. Yeah.
Watering is a thing. Mm-hmm. And obviously with hotter weather comes hot and like the heat and then the humidity. This is going to be an episode within itself. But watering habits have to be kind of dialed in, right? And there's a right time and a wrong time to water. And especially when you get into summer, that's something, or especially when it gets hot out, that's something that we just got to be mindful of. So there's disease there's drought, there's improper watering habits. Those are all probably episodes on their own. So very high level. What are some things that people should have on their radar for when it does get hot and, more importantly, humid?
Well, for starters, in the spring, you shouldn't be watering just to water. Look for signs that your lawn needs water. Like the color is not that great. It starts to get that grayish light color. When you step on it, it doesn't bounce back up. It stays laying down. The blades of the grass start to thin out and shrivel a little bit. Look for the signs that your lawn needs water, because like a lot of people, even around here, I've been seeing people watering their lawns every single day.
Dude, it's insane.
And I haven't even turned mine on, and my lawn is looking better than most people's.
Right.
And it's insane. Like I said, test your system, make sure it's working good for when you need it. And then when you need it, turn it on, you're good to go. As far as the time of day, early morning, you don't want to be too early in the morning, but like 5 a.m., have it done by the time you get in the shower in the morning. Like my house, I have the issue of my well pump. I only have one well pump, and it's connected to my house. And so if the water pressure changes, if I take a shower at the same time. So I try to do my watering like between 4 and 5, so that by the time I'm up at 5:15 in the morning, 6 o'clock, that the watering's done. And then it's not going to lay in the lawn for too long, and it'll be dried up by mid-morning. So that's the whole point of watering early in the morning, is that it's not going to sit there on the leaf blades all night long if you water too late at night or in the evening, because that's what causes fungus. So make sure you're watering at good times. Don't want to water at the hottest point of the day, because most of it's going to evaporate, or a lot of it. So early morning.
And speaking of fungus, guys, go back to our previous episodes. We had Aaron Hathaway from New Farm, I believe. He was on. Yep. He's one of their main. I'm gonna mess up his title. Lead scientists, or
way more qualified than we are.
He
knew his
way
stuff.
up there.
Yeah.
But he went in through all this stuff, and it was so beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and he brought high yield information, and he dumbed it down for us. And
he
it
did
made
a
sense.
really, really good job.
So
at
go
that.
back and take a look at that episode. It's really good. A lot of really great information.
Spin too. The first episode was Spin. Yeah. So that would have been season 2. Both of them were season 2.
Yeah.
So season 2 and season 3 with Aaron, but yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty stacked back there. So go back, take a look at those for any more. We're definitely going to hit those topics again, because they change every year and new things come up. And, the lawn is always changing. There's always something going wrong, even on the good days. So it's just learning moments,
Oh, those things?
Those things.
Those things.
With the W,
And along with the watering, have a couple of good hand manual sprinklers ready to go too. Make sure you have enough hose to get everywhere on your property that you need, because you're going to get some hot spots, and or some areas that, like, maybe you seeded an area like I'm about to. I'm going to have to hit that with a lot more water heading into summer.
Seeded in an area?
Seeded.
What'd you just say? Seeded.
I seeded.
God, you got to be careful, dude.
Man, I got a lisp all of a sudden. So I'm going to be running a hose over to that area and putting down a sprinkler that can hopefully cover it all in one, without having to move it. So just get your equipment ready. Get it ready for the hot season. Summer is coming.
Generally, you want to get her moist without much movement. Just the least amount of movement.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just want to whisper in her ear.
Mm-hmm. Get the hose ready. Get it ready. Get her moist.
Yep.
Not a lot of movement.
Show her the hose. Show her the hose.
On that note, what was I gonna say? I completely lost my train of thought.
Well, we're talking mainly about good cultural practices. So watering being one of them. Once it gets hot, mowing is also very crucial. Back down to the basics of, if it's hot, it's dry, don't mow your lawn. It's going to look a little shaggy, and that's okay. Once some rain starts coming up in the forecast for those who don't have irrigation systems, then then you can start mowing again. But hold off. Make sure your blades are sharp. Your deck is cleaned, and wash it after you mow. That way you're not promoting fungus and underneath your deck, and then you're spreading it everywhere. So just make sure you're mowing right, mowing the right times, not in the middle of the day, which I am guilty of mowing at like 2 or 3 p.m., like hottest part of the day.
You got to,
because that's when I have to mow. That's when I get to mow. So try and do it in the evenings. My neighbors, his schedule must be crazy or something, because he's always mowing. They're out at night. I should get on that train because I feel like night mows probably hit differently.
Dude, nighttime mowing's the best.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
but they all have headlights for like,
they do,
and no one uses them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's nighttime night mow.
Super underrated.
And also raise the height of cut a little bit in the summer.
Is that true or not?
Raising the height of cut? I think if you're not mowing super low, take it up from like 1 or 2 notches in the heat of the summer, then bring it back
just
down.
1 or 2 notches here.
1 or 2 notches down there. Yep. That's what I do. That's what the cool kids are doing.
Vince,
I
you
usually
mentioned
do increase it just a little bit, but
depends on how much you want to water. Yeah.
You mentioned keeping your blade sharp, and we're talking about stuff that's going to happen to you guys in like June, right? Spring, seed stalks are about to, you're probably dealing with them by the time you listen to this episode, if you have not already. Those dull your blades a lot.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can really do about them, right? It's just, they're just kind of there. And a lot of new grasses have them, and there's nothing, it's just part of the plant and how it grows. So,
and they're sterile, guys, all these seed heads.
Yeah,
correct. They're not going to
save them and go seed.
I've heard some people go, I mulched them up so that they go back into the lawn and grow. It's like, you can mulch them all you want. That's fine. You can also bag them. It's not going to affect anything.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely dull your blades up.
Yeah, and you're like, man, how does that actually dull your blade? It dulls it more than you think it does. So keeping your blade
when you hit
sharp,
a patch of like a lot of those, you can hear the sound of it hitting your blade. Like it just changes the sound of the mower.
And this is going to be great radio. But visually, if you can think about how a scissors cuts a piece of paper and it's one solid, line, right? One solid cut. It would be that versus like ripping it, right? It might not be, as clean as you might want it type of thing. A dull blade would be more like ripping it, and the clean sharp blade will cut it. That's probably an episode by itself on a whole bunch of different things and what that can cause, primarily fungus, disease, all of those things. But that said, it's just something to have in the top of your mind. Pro tip: go get a couple more blades lying around. I can't remember. One of you told me to do this because I never did it. And ever since then, it's just been like super easy. There's always a sharp blade hanging on the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can just change it, and then you don't have to sharpen that blade right away. It can be a day or two later once you take it off, type of thing. And it's just always there. Just
a quick swap out at that point.
Yeah.
We'll swap-a-roo.
Yeah.
And obviously with bigger mowers, that becomes maybe a little bit more of a project. Takes a little bit more time, but if you have the right tools, that's good. But if you just have your standard walk behind, it's a no-brainer.
Or you can be like me and buy the wrong blades that has the wrong shaped connector. So
do that. That's good.
Can't believe that I did that. That's a silly moment.
Moment, MOWMENTS.
Yes.
Because we're a grass podcast.
Cool. So getting in the summer, recapping that, we got adjust your water schedules, stay off your lawn, mow more infrequently, raise the height of cut, keep things clean. What else can we do?
Timing wise, along the lines of that, I wanted to kind of go back with we'll talk about worm castings and try to get rid of those. The grub control, like usually you apply, if you're going to do grub control stuff, that's May to June-ish for most of us. So Get your grub control down. Keep those ground moles out of your property. Get the food source gone.
If people say, people see a grub or two,
Right.
is that a
On
bad
your
thing
lawn.
or a good thing?
No, it's not bad. If you see 8 of them in a square foot, then maybe you want to be more concerned. But a couple's pretty normal. If you dig in your lawn, you're probably going to find some. If you're finding a lot of them, in a closed spot, that's concern.
Mhm.
Your lawn will begin to tell you very rapidly if you have a grub problem, by way of it changing its appearance in areas it shouldn't.
In the lower
it
you mow,
can pull up.
the lower you mow, you'll see the effects sooner. If you mow taller, it'll take longer to see that. So your average person that's mowing 2.5, 3.5 inches, you're not going to notice it right away. But that's also good because you might not even know it's happening, and it's not a problem because of that. But if you're mowing super low, it could be a bigger deal. So yeah. I just do grub control every single year because I had mold problems, and now that I've taken care of the food source, the moles don't come in my yard anymore. Well, they do, but then they leave immediately because there's no food. So
yeah, that's a good point. Every winter, people coming out of winter, they're like, "How do I get rid of this?" It's like, well,
yeah, cultural practices year after year with grub control. That's how I've done it.
There's a whole bunch of gimmicks out there. It's kind of like what we were talking about last. What were we talking about? Oh, the dog stuff. Like all of these tablets and pills and all of this, the gimmicks out there for dog pee bites. It's the same with grubs, and it's like, some of them might work, but most of them don't.
The ones that I'm really curious about are those spikes you put in the ground that make like a high pitched sound that supposedly they don't like, and it makes a sound every so often. Like I think my neighbor has one. I hear it go off like every few minutes when I'm out there. I'm like, well,
that would drive me insane.
I would.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we can hear it.
I don't know if it's not pushed down far enough or if you're just able to hear it. And my mother-in-law had some at her house for a while, and I don't think it helped anything there, in my opinion. But
have you seen the one dude who just takes he's got like a full-blown like air tank, CO2 tank, and he basically creates a homemade dynamite. And this is what this is his bit. This is how this is what he does for content. And I'm pretty sure he owns a business of doing that, but it's like a line of dynamite through the hole, like through the tunnel.
Yeah, for squirrels and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he just blasts it. It is like, I'm not about that, but like it.
Yeah,
it is hilarious. Like he's a really good creator, and he's super funny. Of course, this is meaningless because I don't remember the dude's name, but you're for sure seen one of his videos pop through.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, lots of gimmicks out there for a lot of things. Back to basics, I think, is what you just got to do. Everybody's looking for a quick fix, and there's not always one. Sometimes you have to have good grub control practices for 3 years straight before the moles go away. So,
and the more, right what you said, get back to basics. And the moral of the story for us in cool season lawns is, you're gonna see a lot of warm season lawns thrive. And at the same exact time where yours starts to take a nap a little bit. Warm season lawns are different. They thrive in that stuff. And there's a reason that they look good when they do. We have that active growth cycle in spring and then in fall. And we play defense in the middle of summer. That's just how our grass types work. The better grass type that you get that fits your environment, the better quality of seed that you get, that fits your environment, and knowing the answers to those are ultimately going to be the more long-term play to help you out with everything that we just mentioned with less inputs. What I mean by that is less maintenance going into it month in and month out. But when your lawn is starting to fade a little bit, turning brown, the weather's getting hotter, there's a lot of stuff happening that maybe wasn't there even just a day ago, a week ago. Don't press the panic button. It's time to be patient. Don't do something that you maybe shouldn't do. Don't kill it with water. Don't kill it with fertilizer, or pound it with any of that stuff necessarily. Do it at the right times. Do the right things. Don't go just blindly apply something without knowing the repercussions of maybe what it can do at the time that you apply it. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method.
That's right.
Yep. Works.
We have some questions to answer. We actually have a full mailbag. So we're going to take the next part of the episode and answer some of your questions. Let's hit that real quick.
It's time for the Motown mailbag.
Join us as we reach deep into the mailbag and answer your questions. If you would like to have a question answered on the Lawn Feed podcast, head to thelawnfeed.com and submit a question.
Mailbag, mailbag. It's time for the Motown mailbag.
Absolutely.
What a banger.
Just us.
We say that every single
slapper.
time we do. I think we're amazed by that song every time we hear it.
Oh, man.
Guys,
Top
we actually
40.
have something special on tonight's episodes. I think for the first time since like maybe the first or second time we've done mailbag, we have a voice question. Somebody submitted an audio question, which you guys can all do, but everybody chooses to do submit question via email, essentially. That's what it ends up being. But hey, if you want to hear your voice heard on the Lawn Feed podcast, this is your way to do it. And personally, I like hearing it because like you can hear the people. It seems more, personable.
Emails suck. You can just come out and say that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, it does. But like when you hear somebody's voice asking you the question, there's just a special connection, like it's just different. Like how they speak, like you can hear it in their voice, the excitement.
Andrew really likes hearing your voices.
I want to hear your voice, guys. Send me
go
your
ahead.
voice.
Aw.
So go ahead.
Anyways, here
All
we
right,
go.
Warm and fuzzies.
Let's
This
do
is
it.
Ty from Utah.
Ants in the pants.
Hey guys, this is Ty, living up here in beautiful Hiram, Utah. Love the podcast. Love listening to you guys joke, have fun, be dads. Being a first-time dad myself this year, it's awesome. And I need to have a beautiful new yard for my daughter to play on. My wife and I recently bought a new house up here, and it's a new build. And being ballers on a budget this year, we need to know what you guys best would think to do, sod or seed, and how to prep for it, being fresh new dirt it is. Looking for answers and to see what I can do best to be able to give my daughter that beautiful, luscious lawn that she deserves to crawl on. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your answers. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Looking forward to listening to you.
Well, there you go.
New construction.
New construction, new dad. Looking for a new lawn.
New
Congrats,
home, new,
buddy.
Yeah,
lots of
congrats.
news. Congrats. Well, new
Loaded
construction.
question.
Yeah.
Loaded question.
So one, it comes down to cost. Do you want to
Yep.
pay for sod or do you want to seed? Significant difference there. Do you want an instant lawn or do you want to be you want to sow into it and really dive into it and tackle it from start to finish, which is ultra satisfying, which kind of sounds like that's kind of what you would want to do. But
He sounds like a baller on a budget. So
yeah, but new construction is tricky. If it's anything like the new construction around me, they basically strip any good topsoil and leave you with rocks, construction debris, etc. So you can get a lawn to grow in, get some good grass seed over at Twin City, seed it down there, prep your lawn, seed it, but you might have some issues coming up if it's a bunch of junk. You can apply some stuff like Carbon Pro G from Site One, some other organic fertilizers, something for your soil to kind of help build it up. The organic matter is probably pretty low. And I've seen personally, I have a couple lawns that I take care of and it's new construction and you're left with nothing. And we're fertilizing it and there are spots that just aren't growing. And when we soil tested it, we noticed that the organic matter was super low. The pH was wonky. So you adjust the pH of the soil and you continue to give it those amendments that it needs to boost up that organic matter. Compost, putting compost down over your lawn at time of seeding, after seeding, whenever, will also benefit it big time. But as far as what you should do, even if you're doing sod, the same issue can happen. You can put down the most beautiful sod ever, but if the ground underneath of it is crap, your lawn's not going to do that great. But it comes down to price. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to spend a lot of money and put down the sod, have an instant lawn, or spend less money, get a really high quality blend of grass seed, put that in your lawn, water it, and nurture it to a full established lawn? What do you guys think?
That sounds pretty spot on. I was even thinking, I'm like, well, sod has some dirt to it, but that stuff's cut so thin there is none. Like there's no soil to that. The only other thing that I was thinking is if there's room to bring up the level of the ground a little bit, you could bring in some of your own topsoil and spread that out first. That's not going to get you a ton, but it's going to get you some. Like Vin said, you can use compost.
Well, if he orders a ton, it'll get him a ton.
It's a measurement thing. I love it. But yeah, no, there's really no wrong way to go about this. Just know that, that soil's a little dicey. That you're working with. Maybe try to sift out some of the rocks and all that kind of stuff too. So, Chris, anything?
The only thing I was gonna add was you can do both. You want to get sod and do a blend seed later.
That's true.
You can do that.
Especially if he's got his daughter, like he said, that he wants her to be able to play on it. Maybe find a portion of the yard that you want to sod and have that nice, right away. And then you can use the other part of the yard. You could do it that way too. So yeah.
Keep the voice memos coming. Congrats, Ty. That's awesome. I almost spilled my drink. That would not have been good. Congrats on the house. Congrats on daughter and your family and all that fun stuff. Keep the voice memos coming at thelawnfeed.com.
Next question. I'm not positive this was even a mailbag question, but it came in and I thought it was decent. So we'll hit it really quick. It's from Frank B from unknown location. I love the podcast. Just getting into spraying and wondering what T-Jet spray tips are your primary go-to tips. I am using a Flow Zone Typhoon. Sin, I figured maybe Vince might have some input on this.
This is Vince's wheelhouse.
It's really not.
I would just
I use a couple different nozzles, and honestly, I got them off of GCI Turf's website. He is a madman with spray equipment and stuff, and he has a couple really good nozzles, especially if you're using the flow zones. He has one that's adjustable. It goes from like 3 feet to 10 feet spray width. So you can put down a nice fine mist for your foliar apps, or you can do something a little bit heavier of a drop that gets you further. I forget what they're even called now.
He had like Spray Buddy nozzles or something like that.
Yeah.
I bought like a 3-pack from them. That's what I use.
Yeah. I go with those. You're going to use them, calibrate your sprayer accordingly, and you're going to love them. I've had my tips for 4 years now, 5 years, and they work great. Now you should change them out every so often, but they've been rocking and rolling. Right. They're built good.
How often?
If they're working, they're working, but I mean, probably every few years.
I mean, they're stainless steel. They're solid tips, and calibration still is true. So for a homeowner,
but for the most that have the plastic ones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how often are you supposed? I mean, those get kind of nicked, and
make sure they get cleaned out.
Whether you try to keep it safe or not, but like they'll hit stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what that answer is there, Chris. You should call into the Motime mailbag and ask.
I might. Sounds like we'll be going around in circles on that one, though.
The other thing I like about Pete is like all of his products that he has. Like I watched his videos to see like the spray patterns and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Like that's what I want, because most of the stuff that I spray is not really. I mean, you can do some foliar applications, so you want that. But like if you're doing humic acids and you're doing soil amendments and stuff, like heavier droplets, so it's like air induction type stuff. That's what I started with before I hopped on this train, that like getting those nozzles that you were talking about. So yeah, I don't know. Do your own research, kind of figure out, and it all depends on what you're spraying too. So be mindful of that. You can't, you don't want to be using a herbicide and spraying big old droplets down. So yeah, let's go to this one. Cracked me up. I just saw this. This is from Michael T. from Arkansas, home of the 50th ranked educational system. You put that on there. I
Or
was cracking up.
Kansas.
I don't think he did. I put that on there.
Did you really?
I was just. I
Oh
was just-
my gosh!
I
I'm
was
so
just
sorry,
fucking with all you
Michael.
guys.
Oh, geez, Michael. I
think
I'm
it's
sorry.
technically 49th, but that's all good.
Whatever. Oh
It's
my
all good.
gosh. Sorry,
Based upon this
Arkansas.
message, sounds like you would appreciate that.
Okay, so it says backyard complete remodel. Good day, gents. Enjoy your podcast and have started to view some of your YouTube videos and some suggestions and motivation. Bottom line is my backyard needs a complete overhaul. And when I say complete, I mean lawn, garden beds, replace shed, live edges, 3-foot privacy fence for the chi herd, so they don't fence fight with the neighbor dogs. And possibly a new deck porch. Well, we're getting into this. My question basically is, do I treat this as the old saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? If so, would the shed, garden beds, plant installs be the first place that you start in the spring and summer and then plant on the lawn in the fall, with it being too hot for the seed? I'm in the southern transition zone in central Arkansas, so we have 100 plus degree summer days and sometimes extended days in the temps. At 58 and almost a cancer survivor, stage 3 kidney cancer with the right kidney removed in 2024, I have to watch overdoing things, but I really want to have the backyard that we want to spend more time in and enjoy instead of looking at the blah that we have now. I guess I'm just looking for some thoughts on a little motivation suggesting from the lawn feed guys. Thanks, Michael from Arkansas. That's cool.
Congrats on.
Yeah, thanks for sending the question.
Well, let's start here. Keep kicking ass, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking about you. Stay strong. That's awesome. I mean, I'm reading everything that you have here, or listening to everything that Andrew has read off that you had here, and you're eager to get it done. Listen to your body for sure. That's a big list, and I'm saying that after I just moved 9 tons of sand into my yard, right? And my opinion is lawn comes last.
Mm-hmm.
In all of the things that you just mentioned, because lawn is going to get jacked up when you go do things. So that would be my method. I saw seed in here, and your location is most likely going to be a sod scenario. I don't know what type of grass you have. Did he mention that?
He said southern transition zone, central Arkansas, but 100 plus degree summer days.
So you're looking, I mean, the renovation times are going to be a little bit different. So correct me where I'm wrong here, but in the fall time, that's probably not the best plan to do that like it would be in the cool season for a warm season. That would be more like early summer. So based upon everything that we just said, take that with prefacing the fact that the schedule of your area is probably a little bit different depending on the grass type that you choose. We're talking like Bermuda, Georgia, centipede, whatever have you, for warm season zone. That's going to follow a different schedule. So just be mindful of that. You're probably looking into, if you're already starting to doing projects, June, July, August type thing, you're probably looking into next year anyway to do it the way you want it.
Right. I think the first part of the question almost reads as if it's like a cool season lawn, which transition zone, I guess you can, but down in southern Arkansas, I'd probably want a warm season grass personally.
Where's Jordan? He's northern Arkansas, correct?
Yeah, he's more northern.
And he's got all
Bermuda.
Yeah.
And then he overseeds.
Yeah, I think
With
that
rye.
far down, I'd want to do a Bermuda sod personally if that was me.
It's going to be. It's not going to be seed.
No, and it's going to cost you a little more money to have to do sod, but at the same time, it's going to take a lot of the effort and work away from you. Like you were talking about, not overworking yourself. So sod would be a better route for that too. So, yeah,
I mean, it sounds like this year is getting all of your shed, your garden beds, all of that, and then next year is kind of getting your lawn
Yeah,
in order.
I mean,
right?
get as much. You can get some stuff done
for sure.
this spring and see where you are come heat of summer when all that stuff likes to be, done for warm season stuff. So I don't know, see what you can get done in the next couple of months here.
No doubt.
But don't go too hard. But
Keep kicking ass though.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the question. Ian P from Valparaiso, Indiana, has a potassium application question. I received my soil test results today, and the lab shows that I am low in potassium at 76 parts per million. They recommend applying 4 pounds per 1,000 of potash annually over 2 applications, once in the spring and once again mid-fall at 2 pounds per application. Will I be at risk for burning my lawn? All the other readings are optimal otherwise, including a pH of 6.8. I plan to apply a Lesco 0050. Thank you. So I'm looking at you, Vince, because I feel like this is something that you would probably have some good input on.
It's different, right? I mean, you're looking at potassium versus like a nitrogen type of thing. So I don't know, Vince. You have? I've learned a ton on you specifically on potassium and what's out there when you apply it. What are the risks? What certain studies say. All of those.
Does potassium
things.
burn a thing?
But let's chat about what he said.
I don't think potassium will burn. I also don't think that you need to, just because a soil test tells you to put down that much, you need to. What's the uptake? What's your plant actually going to uptake?
Exactly.
If it looks bad, then apply some potassium. If it's green, looks healthy, you probably don't need to hit a whole lot of potassium. So yeah, add your normal spring fertilizer that's got some potassium in it, some SOP or something like that, and or foliar apps that has some potassium in it. Do that,
right,
and you'll probably find. Don't go chasing numbers too much. pH is a number that you can chase. Again, that's going to take some time to correct. That's probably your biggest number that you would want to monitor is your pH there. But if your grass looks good, the leaf tissue looks good, then just do some light applications spring and fall. I know we had another guy on, Nick, and he was talking a little bit about different fertilizers, nitrogens and stuff like that. And he mentioned that cool season grasses in the summer months, you kind of want to stay away from some of the potassium and bluegrass for disease pressure and stuff like that. But, and just basically run nitrogen. So yeah, spring, fall, hit it with a little bit of potassium. Definitely don't think you need to try and put 2 pounds of potassium down. I think that's, not wise of whatever soil test that was, but I'm not a turf expert. It's just my own 2 cents. So thank you for that question.
I had a similar problem before I really dove into the lawn care years ago. I did my first soil test and I saw the deficiency, and it had the same kind of recommendations. I don't think quite as high, but I bought a bag of potash and I did the 2 applications, just like he's saying here. And then I soil tested for 2 years after that, and it was always just a little bit below. And so I just changed my average fertilizer. It was a 1608 now. I always just put down a little bit of potassium, not always in the summer, like Vince said. So just maybe be more mindful. You can up that potassium number with all your applications. You don't have to dump it all at one time. So,
yeah.
All right. New house from Chicago, Nick. Hey guys, I'm about to be a first-time homeowner with his own home. We should be closing on May 5th, which was a couple days ago now, and I live in northern Illinois. I have no idea about the history of the lawn, and I plan on identifying the grass, then doing a soil sample. My question is about timeframes. What is the next step after soil test? Am I too late for a pre-emergent? Thanks, guys. I love the show.
Congrats on the house, dude. That's awesome. May 5th. It's past May 5th. Cinco de Drinko has passed. So congrats. You probably you're listening to this probably close. So you are too late for pre-emergent because it's supposed to be 90 degrees here, which means it's well past that there. So soil test you can basically do at any point in time, with preface that you need to make sure that nothing has been applied within like 45 days prior to that to avoid skewing results. The big thing that you would, and this is kind of tagging along to what Vince just said, but the big thing that you're going to get from that is your pH. That's the thing that drives everything. That is the leader of the pack. That's a good thing to know on direction of if you have a low pH, acidic, alkaline, neutral, wherever it may be. And then you can kind of assess your lawn from there based upon where your macros are, where your micros are, all of those different things, and where the priorities are for this season. You just closed. You're probably super eager to get in there. You got to assess your lawn. That's probably the first step. After a soil test, you've probably already done that just to kind of see what picture you're painting. And do you have weeds, for example? Is it a weed problem? And if it's just overcome with weeds, and many times when people are trying to sell a house, they stop caring about their lawn. So you're going to get in, just flooded with weeds. Probably focus on that if that's the case this year. And then in the fall, we can talk about overseeding and talk about all of the things there, while responding to what your soil test, gives you, all of those different things. So I say this with most new homeowners is soil test, assess, figure out what your problem areas are, learn your environment, learn your irrigation if you have one. If you're lucky to have that, learn the nuances of your irrigation and where your water spots hit. It's really just observation, and that takes a full season and try to document a lot of that stuff. I think a lot of people just try to remember what happens month in and month out, and that doesn't always, actually that never works. Always try to document. If you're listening to this and eager to learn and start your journey, you're one step ahead of most. Grab a notepad, write down your observations somewhere, whether it be electronically or old school, and kind of go from there. But you're on the right track with the soil test. Just got to get the results back. You can do that at any point in time. From there, it's observations and trying to figure out the nuances of what's going on at that new property, learning your local environment to take a plan of attack for probably the next season or 2 or 3.
Well said. I think that sums that up perfectly. One more question. Troy from Iowa, Kentucky Bluegrass Overseed. Love the podcast. I have a 12-year-old Kentucky Bluegrass lawn via sod. Cultivars are unknown. Can I introduce new KBG cultivars? Kentucky, I thought it was the KGB. I thought it was flipped, but I'm just tired. Can I introduce new Kentucky Bluegrass cultivars into my existing lawn, considering Blue Envy from Twin Cities Seed? Pros and cons would be appreciated.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course you can.
Probably recommended.
Kentucky Bluegrass in general. I'm not going to speak on Blue Envy specifically. If you're going the Twin City Seed route, they have multiple Kentucky Bluegrass blends that will benefit a northern upper Midwest climate. Some are more shade tolerant than others. You have Total Eclipse, you have Blue Shadow. However, Blue Shadow is mixed with fine fescue, so I would not necessarily recommend that for everything. It's very niche down into the environments that goes. But Kentucky Bluegrass in general, it requires more water, it requires more fertilizer, and it requires more input and maintenance. It's just something that comes with Kentucky Bluegrass. The pros of this is it self-repairs. Generally speaking, will have a very dark color when treated with the things that it needs. And the winter hardiness. So you're in Iowa, I'm in Minnesota. We get pounded in winters. It can handle that very, very well. Arguably the best out of all of the 4 primary cool season grass types in a landslide. The only knock on it that I've got is the maintenance that has to go into it. It needs a lot. It tries to go dormant in the middle of summer. If you're in Iowa, you get the droughts that we get. You just got to be mindful of that. So do you have irrigation? Yes or no? If you don't, you either have to be okay with a dormant lawn or a lawn that is going to be fighting dormancy in the middle of summer, or you can get ahead of it with an irrigation system and just know that you are going to have a little bit more watering to do if you want that green lawn. But in my opinion, if you maintain it the way that you should, Kentucky bluegrass can be an elite grass type to plant in the upper Midwest.
Yeah. And like his
had it
case
for 12
specifically,
years.
he's had it for 12 years. So it's probably fine. And he shouldn't really, I mean, if he wants to introduce new cultivars, great. I mean, that's just improving your turf. But I mean, if it's lasted 12 years, I think just changing up your fertilizer a little bit. And if it's thin, then doing some dethatching, doing some scarifying or verticutting, and just opening up that canopy and feeding it well, it should thicken back up. Or you can introduce some new cultivars into it because they're
This is
better.
going to surprise absolutely nobody. I chose to not hear the 12-year part. So yeah, full send. Go ahead.
Kind of gathered that as you were kind of talking about him going down this road. I'm like, he's been already living this life, dog. But yeah,
Seasoned vet.
I think what you were getting at was like, if you feel like you've had issues with just a Kentucky bluegrass, you can also consider doing like a tall fescue mix with it if you feel like drought is an issue and all that kind of stuff too.
Vince
But it sounds
doesn't
like Kentucky bluegrass is the life he wants to live. But yes, you can absolutely introduce.
Wait, what? Hang on. Why don't you like that? Why did you puke in your microphone?
Oh, tall fescue.
That's
Why?
the new sissy grass he calls it, right?
Well, I mean, the
You're
new,
a fan of
the new cultivars, the like
Fourth
in Resilience
Millennium
2 and stuff.
yeah.
Those are nice because they're thin. But like the old
Well,
fescues and stuff, I don't like tall grass.
Well, we're not talking about the old stuff. We're talking about like what you can get
30.
I
now.
know, but I
You
don't
go to
like tall grass.
twincityseed.com and you get grass seed and you're going to get the good stuff.
Well, yeah, you'll get that good stuff, and you can mow it lower. But
Still get K31 from somewhere.
in general, I just don't like tall fescue. I like my Kentucky bluegrass for perennial rye.
All right.
for your lawn,
For my lawn, yeah.
but for someone who doesn't want to do drought, like needs drought tolerance and
Tough
doesn't
turf.
want anything.
Tough.
that's-
turf.
That is tall fescue in it, homeboy.
It sure is.
Anywho, that wraps up the Motime mailbag segment.
We're gonna
Keep it
hash
coming.
this tall fescue
Lawn-
ordeal out here.
Lawnfeed.com, Motime mailbag, and submit a voice memo. Love hearing the voice memos. Andrew gets the touchy feelies and all the dance in the pants when you send voice memos.
I may have
Submit
got
those
too
coming.
excited. Yeah.
And or if you don't want to do that, it's totally cool. We get it. It's kind of weird hearing your own voice and this and that. Send a message. And anything you got. There's no dumb questions. Send anything. We're gonna hit them. Yeah, go from there. But you guys have anything else for this one, or are we wrapped up?
I think we're good. Just make sure
good.
you check out the swag options that we got.
Oh, yeah.
Summer's coming around. You're going to need a good Mo shirt. We got some Mo Time shirts. We got some personal branded shirts, some Opes, some Dad Bods, and some Rooteds. And slap on the Brad15 discount code, and you get you 15% off that swag.
Heck yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you for listening to this episode on the Lawn Feed Podcast. Good luck with this week's venture of parenthood. We all know that we're going to need it. Good luck with spring. Good luck with summer and the hot temps. Go kick up and enjoy the weekend. And we will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Later.